Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Target exclusive, although not so much with Target, at least not compared to Walmart anyways. But today we'll be taking a look at the Midnighter, brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys, of course. Now, I'm going to tell you what, I don't know jack squat about this character, though I will say his head sculpt reminds me a lot of Red Robin when Tim Drake wore the Red Robin costume there. Red Robin, yum. So, interesting to note. I'm guessing it's not Tim Drake. I'm guessing it's not, unless it's Tim Drake in Future State, because this is a reuse, heavy reuse, of the Future State Detective Batman. Dark Detective Batman? I forget what it's called. But either way, it's Batman in the trench coat. And, yeah, man, I never reviewed that figure. And mine is unfortunately packed away, so I will not be pulling him out for comparison here. But we're going to do our best to give you the best review of this figure that I possibly can within a reasonable amount of time. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I'd like to give a shout out to my good buddy, Evil Villain, who was kind enough to... Wait, what? You mean he didn't hook this up? You mean I actually picked him up something for once, and he paid me back for it? Oh, well, in that case, shout out to me for picking this up for him. Actually, shout out to Mr. Brian for picking this up for him, but it's not often I get to give myself a shout out. Maybe I'll leave the link in the description below. You know? Follow me on Instagram, YouTube. Not Twitter or whatever they call it now, because that's where all the idiots go, but that's besides the point. But with that being said, why don't we cut right to the chase before I have another flashback and get right into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at the Midnighter's accessories, starting off with this pair of fist hands here. It's nice that we get those. It's not often we get a pair of grip hands and a pair of fist hands. We usually get one of each. The Nightfall Batman was no different. That's kind of why I put him as one of my Multiverse figures of the year, if not the Multiverse figure of the year. Finally got pairs of hands instead of a pair and a half. We also get a couple of bats. Some kind of crazy club, I don't know. These look like they'd hurt, though. They look like they're made out of metal. They are just plastic, and they are a little gummy, but a little hairdryer straighten that out. I will say they are kind of tough to get in his hands, but you can do it without eating him up. Here is the collectible trading card. You can buy on the back. You can pause and read at your own leisure. But to be honest with you, you're going to have to do that, because I don't know this character. I don't know if he's even from Future State. He looks like hockey puck display stand. You used to see it all the time. He looks like he'd hang out with Red Hood, or the Signal, or even the Arkham Knight, that character from the video games, which I think is Red Hood, if I'm not mistaken. Also looks like he'd hang out with, what's his face? Oh, God. Ghostmaker, who was also, I think he was from Future State, too, right? And the Grifter, he was from New Frontier, but he looks like one of those guys. He's got the kind of bat cape trench coat thing going on here. He's got these little tassels on his arms. Now I will tell you, be careful with these. They got give to them. They're not, you know, hard plastic like some of the joints are, but they do feel like if you're not careful, you could break these. So I'm gonna have to make sure I pack this guy extra good. That's not stupid, but you know what I mean. Pack him well so he doesn't get damaged in transit, because we all know the mailmen love to play dodgeball with our collectibles, right? That said, since I don't have that Future State Dark Detective Batman for comparison, here's Wave Rider, the other Target exclusive figure we looked at yesterday, compared to him. A little bit more interesting with the Wave Rider, if you ask me, but that's just because the body hasn't been used as much, I don't think. I'm not mistaken, Wave Rider's body's only been used like twice, whereas this one's been used 4, because we got the Dark Detective, Then we got the Jokerized Dark Detective. I think that came out last year, 2023. So did this guy, but we also got the version of Dark Detective without the coat, which in hindsight probably should have been the one I bought, because he came with all the accessories that the one with the coat had. He just didn't have the coat, and this guy's got the coat, and you know, I could have swapped the coat on. I think the coat's removable. It does not feel glued, but you have to pop the arms off to find that out for yourself. I think it is removable though. I don't feel like it's glued on, so yeah, it doesn't look like. Maybe it is, but it's like really up on the back. If it is. As far as his articulation goes, his head can look side to side. Can look up a little bit. Down, not so much. A little bit of tilt. Shoulder does move out. Like Wave Rider, this side doesn't really have that ratchet going on. But it's not like floppy loose, but no Evil Villain's Kiki's whiz. He could probably fix that if he wants to. His shoulders do rotate forward and back. He does have that rotator cap, but it's very hindered because of the pauldron, or the shoulder pad, and all the coat going on here. You can't move that around. He's got a bicep swivel, which the shoulder pad surprisingly is not connected to. It's connected to the shoulder. Double elbow, which again, be careful. You don't want to snap these off. God, that makes me nervous. And then his wrist. Fortunately, the grip hands are very loose. Now, I don't know if you could heat those up and pinch them closed and get them to stay on there a little bit more snug. But they are very loose until you kind of pinch them in the sleeve there. So you might want to do that if you want to display them with his baseball bats. If you just want to use the fist, then those are tight. I popped one on earlier and it was tight, but it wasn't too tight to where it wrecked the ball hinge there. So that kind of sucks that is as floppy as it is, but you could always fix that, I suppose. Torso crunches that far forward, and then back just pretty much into neutral because of all the stuff going on, but you can get a little bit of added range out of that. Straighten them out at least. It does rotate, of course. Does have a little teeny bit of tilt, but not a ton. It's got a loop here, which I guess you could store. Actually, that's like the back grapple, isn't it? It's like a rope for him to climb with. I thought that might have been storage for something. And then he's got a pouch over here. Just a random pouch. I don't know if he's supposed to have a gun or something. Because Warner Brothers are a bunch of cuckold BITCHs. We can't have those. They won't let us have nice things sometimes, guys. Just gonna have to deal with it. As far as his legs go, they do kick out. Not the tightest on the outward movement, but it's not really an issue. The forward and back's tight. That's really what matters. He does have a thigh cut right up in the hip, but he also has an actual thigh cut down here. So I'm unsure if there is supposed to be some kind of vehicle this guy rides. Maybe some kind of motorcycle. Because the Dark Detective does not have a bike. So I'm curious if this guy is going to get a bike either. He's a Target exclusive, so I kind of don't think so. But I don't know either. There you go. There's the knee. Bend it. It's double knee. Pretty sure these are the same legs as Dark Detective. Not so much of the Cliffs of Dover going on there. More so on the elbows. Get that crunch. I love that sound. As long as it doesn't snap. It does have the ball hinge foot too. With the swivel. And then the rocker. That's all fine and dandy. It's a little hindered because of the cuff around the foot, but you can get it to work. And then he's got toe joints. And that one's a little tighter than the other one, but it's fine. It's good enough. Actually, the bottom elbow doesn't have so much of the Cliffs of Dover. God, I hate grabbing this. And the top one's got it. The top one's got it in spades, so top one's making up for the bottom one not having it. But that's the Midnighter, man. He's a cool figure. Kind of wouldn't mind having one for myself, because I do have a lot of the Future State guys, and if he's supposed to go with that, then yeah, I kind of need him, but it's one I could live without for a little while anyways. He's not the most interesting figure. I already have this mold. I got it with the Dark Detective, and I think the Dark Detective's a little bit better of a figure. I think his joints were a little tighter in some areas compared to this guy, but he's not bad. He's cool. I actually thought he was going to look more like Red Hood with like a Batman mask on for some stupid reason. Specifically like the Three Jokers Red Hood, but you know, that's just my ignorance talking there, because I don't know squat about this character other than he looks a little bit like Tim Drake in the mask. Like a lot. There's like no question. I'm curious if he did a head swap with the was it New 52 Tim Drake? Because he has like the Red Robin harness. If you can make a custom Red Robin with the fully cowled head there, the masthead, I should say. But before we wrap this up, here he is alongside our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus. Hopefully moving close enough there. Oh no, where's the other regular? There he is. Couldn't find him for a minute there. I mixed him up. Of course, we have the McFarlane Spawn, who hasn't been towering over everyone lately. I think him and the Midnight are about even. Pretty close. I didn't check Black Lightning. I know he's not taller than Wave Rider because he's got the flaming hair there, but you know, I think it works. I can see Spawn hanging out with this guy, all tactical and whatnot. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and as far as good old Midnighter is concerned here, funny how both Target exclusives I've looked at that came out around the same time, if I'm not mistaken, their freaking names rhyme. Interesting. Either way, other than the fact that he looks a little bit like Tim Drake when he was rocking his Red Robin costume, at least in terms of that head sculpt there, because it's the Batman cowl without the ears. I don't know a whole heck of a lot about this character. He's probably not Tim Drake. I'm probably not right on that one. He just kind of looks like him in the head there. But I'm very curious to know more about this character. I think he's cool looking, despite the fact that he is heavy reuse of that Dark Detective Batman, which was a solid figure. Not one I got around to reviewing, mind you, but I do have in storage, unfortunately, so I couldn't bust him out for comparison here. But I do like this figure. I think he's cool. I think his weapons are pretty cool. I think these baseball bats are a little bit better than the one that the Zur and Ra Batman came with. And, you know, you get a pair of grip hands and a pair of fist hands. Much like my Multiverse figure of the year, at least as of right now, the Nightfall Batman, he came with enough accessories to get by, and this guy is no different. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.